So you can either just start talking about whatever you feel like talking about, or I could ask you questions, whatever you prefer.
Okay.
See? Okay.
I think I'll let you start me rolling.
Okay, sure. So you want to start off with your name and where you're from and what club you are a part of and like the...
Okay, and are you wanting me to look at you, Gabby, or at
me.
yeah.
Oh, sorry for the lights. Esto como se llama. Gonna even hotter in here.
Perfect.
Y esto, ¿cómo se enciende?
¿Y eso?
Oh, está apagada. That's good. That turned off now. ¿Todo bien?
And you want first name, last name?
However you prefer, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So my name is Patti Cross, and I'm from Vancouver Island, British Columbia. So I'm a West Coast girl, and I guess I can say I've grown up around water, on water. So I do pretty much anything on, in, with water. I started out fishing with my dad as a young girl. I've done a lot of kayaking, always been into sports, and 5 years ago I was asked to come and go in a dragon boat, the rec crew also from Vancouver Island, and I paddled with this recreational group out of the Cowichan Valley for 2 years, and then I joined my current club, which is a highly competitive women's crew called the Gorging Dragons, and called the Gorging Dragons because the waterway we paddle with in Victoria the waterway we paddle on in Victoria is called the Gorge. And I've just become totally addicted, and it's become probably the best, if I could call it an obsession, the best obsession I've ever had in my life.
And is this your first year on the national team?
This is my first year on the national team, yes.
Have you tried out before, or this year?
I have never tried out before. When I vividly remember the day, probably about 3.5 years, sitting in a boat with a rec team, thinking, why didn't I start doing this before when I was younger? And maybe I could have gone further, done better things, done bigger things with it. And I decided 18 months ago that, you know what, I could still do that, and I'm going to do that. And I made a commitment, I made a choice, and there's not a second that I'm sorry. You know, I never regret that decision, and every single second of my paddling has been just so special.
And how do you feel about the team you're paddling with and the coaches and everything and the training you've been doing this past week?
Oh, the training has been phenomenal. It's I actually I don't have a word or a group of words to describe what this whole experience means. It's a phenomenal group of women. They're strong, powerful, beautiful, incredible women that I have a great deal of respect for, because I know what it's taken me to get here, and I know what they've all been through. They're incredibly supportive. Coaches are phenomenal. They're fantastic coaches. They're also real people and full of emotion, just like the paddlers are full of emotion, and it's just been phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. I've noticed it's like quite a big sport. Like, it's just as big for women as for men as well. Like, that's interesting.
We have the club that I come from on Vancouver Island is actually a mixed club. It's not just a women's club, but we don't have enough men to have a mixed crew. And I would say probably like anything else, it varies through the years. You may have more men or more women, but it's great. I love doing the gender paddles. I love doing the mixed teams. I just love to paddle.
So you're on both teams at the Worlds this year, or?
I have been able to practice in the mixed boat. Mm-hmm. Yes. So.
Cool. What do you do for work-wise?
I'm a registered nurse by background, and most of my work was in critical care. So it was a high-stress job, and I did 23, 24 years at the bedside as an ICU nurse, and now I'm a clinical nurse leader in an ICU. I work Monday to Friday, 7 to 3, and it couldn't be more perfect as far as my paddling is. And after doing this almost 35 years, I actually can't wait to get up and go to work every day, because I know at the end of the day I get to go paddling, and I know when the weekend comes along I get to go paddling. And I live about an hour out of the town, out of Victoria, which is where I work. So it's not difficult, but it's not that easy for me to get up unless I get up at 3 in the morning to do my training. So most of my training is in the evening or on the weekends, and it fits perfectly into my schedule. Mm-hmm. I've been around long enough in the job that I can pretty much get time off whenever I want, and I've got an incredibly huge supportive cast of people that I work with at work that are just like, hey, no problem. And it's so it's easy for me to get, it's fairly easy for me to get time off to go to competitions and to train, and they know that that's more important to me than anything.
And has it been hard, especially this past 18 months training for the national team, to balance personal life and work and everything? Or you're saying it's easy with work, but...
I think it's the work part has actually kept me grounded in the other part of my non-paddling part of life. I love my job, and I love to go do my job and work really hard at that. And as I say, at the end of the day, I know that I get to leave something I love to go do something that I love even more. I also paddle. My partner, we've been together about 7.5 years. We started paddling together on a rec team, and she paddles on the same competitive team. Mm-hmm. So I don't actually know that I could do this if I didn't have someone who understood this crazy, insane sport that some people... They go, why do you do this? It's like all you do, and this is what I've chosen to do. It's
become your personal life.
it is my life.
Yeah.
It's my life, and I love it. And right now, I wouldn't change it for anything.
So if you could say what it is that you love so much about Dragon Boat, what would it be?
I think the fact, that it's outside, and I've been in different sports and athletic all of my life. I love to work hard, and this is something, it's a whole body workout. The people I've met have been a huge part of the reason. It's I have a huge paddling family, and I have personal goals that I'm trying to meet and to achieve and to surpass, and yet it's such a great team sport, and I can do things that make me feel good, achieving my own goals. There is nothing better than doing it with 19 other paddlers and a drummer and a stern. When you're all doing this together, that's one of the biggest highs for me, and going through all the training and all the agonies and people going through, life happens and babies are born and people die and people get sick, and sharing all of those really emotional things with people, it just makes our bond really tight together.
Mm-hmm. So competing in nationals is a pretty big competition challenge in your life. What would you say is, aside from like a sporting event or Dragon Boat, what would you say is another big challenge or competition you face in life?
Sorry, I'm just trying to think of how are you...
Sorry, I'll word that differently. So, yeah, as far as like challenges in life go at this point in your life, what would you say is a challenge you face?
I actually, there's nothing that pops to mind that is a challenge for me. I don't have kids, and that was partly by choice. That is one thing I would have liked to have had, but not having them has actually given me the freedom to do what I want. And I'm 55 years old. I don't feel 55. I think I actually feel better now than when I did when I was 25. Mm-hmm. And I have a great job. I can finance myself. And there's nothing, the only thing in the way of what I do is me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
¿Qué dijo, perdón?
Que en este momento en su vida no hay tantos desafíos como que eligiendo tener hijos y ahora como tiene la libertad de financieramente y con su tiempo para hacer ese deporte y es algo que ama mucho y en este momento en su vida está re feliz y no se siente que tiene muchos desafíos. Just translated what your answer was. Also, do you have, as far as the coming up race and races in the past, do you have any rituals you do or superstitions or traditions?
I don't usually like to wear a jersey such as the one I have on until comes race day, but I did wear it. It took a lot of thinking and rethinking to put this on, and I thought, you know what, I've worked really hard the last 18 months and I deserve to wear this, and right now I couldn't be any prouder to be a Canadian and to wear this, knowing that I've earned it, and I've earned it along with every other single person that I'm sitting with in that boat.
Mm-hmm. Great. ¿Hay otra cosa que puedes?
Si tiene algún otro hobby o...
Is there anything else that another hobby that you also dedicate yourself to?
I used to cycle, and I didn't do that competitively. It was just something that I loved to do, and I do use that occasionally as part of my training. With my training regime is kind of whatever I feel like doing, because I know that I'm more likely to do it well and kind of end on a high, and that's going to be one thing that's going to keep me going, because it can be exhausting doing this day after day. I try to take 1 day a week off when I'm really, the last 18 months I've pretty much trained 6 days a week. When my body's trying to tell me that I need to take a week off and rest and have some downtime, I've learned finally to listen to that and try to not push myself too hard. But you know, I like to garden, but that's kind of, I'll have time to garden when I can't hold a paddle anymore.
Right. So you plan on continuing with Dragon Boat?
Oh, totally. As long as I can sit in a boat and paddle, and that's my plan.
Mm-hmm. ¿Hay algo más que quieres
Creo que tiene una marca acá en el brazo, preguntarle si es una cicatriz.
Oh, is there any good story to go along with the scar that you have there, or that you feel like sharing, or?
When I was 13 years old, I was bareback riding a horse with a friend, and the horse was running on the beach. We didn't have a saddle, and the horse slipped on the beach, and my friend went one way and I went the other and snapped the top of my arm off. But I'm right-handed, but my left hand is my paddling side, and it's nothing wrong with my left side.
That's crazy. That's really crazy.
¿Qué le pasó?
Que estaba sobre un caballo sin la montura en una playa y el caballo se cayó. Y como se rompió el brazo y ahí y todo.
Ya eligió un deporte de agua.
Sí, eso es el brazo que ella usa también, pero no le afecta.
Okay. Preguntarle si tiene algún tatuaje o algo.
Do you have any tattoos?
No. The only ones I put on are, I have a stick-on one to put on tomorrow.
Right. I've actually noticed quite a few people with Dragon Boat tattoos. So
yeah. I had said that I would never get one, but I've seen some awfully nice ones here, so I don't know.
If you were to get one, it would be a Dragon Boat tattoo?
Probably a maple leaf.
Okay.
Este es el primer torneo mundial que participa.
Oh, right. I don't remember if I asked you this. This is your first national or world Dragon Boat championship you've participated in?
Yes, this is my first world.
Sí, claro.
Okay. Y preguntarle si piensa que van a ganar.
Oh, how are you feeling confident about the races this weekend, or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And which race are you most looking forward to?
I like them all I like all of the distances for different reasons. The 200 is the sprint, of course. If I had to, I don't know if I have one that I like more than the other. I do like them all. I love the sprint. The 200 is you start then you finish basically. It's over. I love the 2K. It's kind of like roller derby on the water. And I love with the 1,000, you can just kind of get into a big rhythm and just feel like you could just go forever and you want to go forever. And so I look forward to them all.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Is there anything else you want to talk about or include, or?
I could sit and talk about dragon boating all day. I would just say, if you've never tried it, just try it. And you know, if one out of 50 people love it, like myself and like a lot of people I paddle with that this is their life, that's great. And people have to find what their passion is. And one of the greatest things, and seeing all the young people in the competition today, and part of me thinks, geez, you know, I wish I could have done that when I was younger. I'm doing it now. I'm loving every second of it, and it's just so wonderful to see those people and a lot of the youth that we have back at home getting into it to keep the sport alive, and I know that they're going to have some incredible years ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at least you've discovered it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sí, ya no quiere contar algo.
Sí, eso es lo que acabo de preguntar. Sí. Okay, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
That's good.
Thank you guys. This is
Thank you.
and I just wish you guys all